All right, welcome to the Live Beyond Average podcast number 3, and we're doing a little late night action here tonight. Kids are all in bed, and got a busy week ahead, so this is kind of our only time to really sit down and kind of podcast this week. And I am here today not with Austin, but with my wife Amy. And it was kind of cool. We got to talking over the weekend about some things and looking back a little bit on our process and how long, it feels like it's fast, but how long it's taken, to accomplish certain things. And we've related it all back to patience and how much patience it's really taken us to kind of get to where we are today. And we're still not, close to where we want to be, but it's all that process and that journey of getting there. So it's pretty interesting. We kind of wanted to throw it back and relay all the way back to when we first moved, graduated college. We'd been married a year, and we moved to start our careers.
Yeah. So we got married young.
Yep.
We got married when we were 21.
Mm-hmm.
We're high school sweethearts, which some people will roll their eyes and go, "Oh,
right.
Why would you do that?"
Yeah, right.
So coming along with that, we've as we've grown, we've had to change with each other and go through a lot of growing up together,
right.
Going off to college together, moving up to a big city together, getting our first jobs together, getting our first house together. And we've kind of gone through that, all those stages at least together.
Right.
But it's been quite the process.
Yeah, because we're both 29,
Mm-hmm.
and we've been together since we were 16. So we've had 13 years of firsts together, and 13 years of always, being excited for one another, which is pretty awesome. But with that, when you're young, I think you tend to dream extremely big, and it's easy for people to get very discouraged very fast because those dreams don't happen overnight, and it's not just in a blink of an eye.
Yes.
And it's always forgotten, people, and we all do it. We all look at other people's circumstances, where they're at, and perception always can fool people. And you really think that everybody always has it together, always is where they want to be. Well, they're probably not where they want to be either, because everybody's goals are so much different. So it's easy to put yourself down, and it's so easy to, give up too soon.
Yep.
For us, when we moved to a big city, Sioux Falls, South Dakota probably doesn't seem like a big city for most people, but Amy's from a town of 130 people. I'm from a town of 500, and so Sioux Falls is a big city for us.
It's a big adjustment, yeah.
Yeah, and when we moved to Sioux Falls in 2011, and we spent pretty much all of our money just to move to Sioux Falls. I think we had $47.
Yeah, we had nothing left.
Yeah, and for 2 weeks. So we both got jobs at the same time. She had to work for 2 weeks before she got paid. I had to work for 2 weeks before I got paid.
And to put deposits down on our first adult apartment,
right.
And we're waiting for deposits to come back from the old apartment, and then just getting set up.
Yeah.
And we were squeezing every penny out of it.
Yeah, you were squeezing it, and lucky for me, I found these little, where I worked, that I could do these little side jobs for them for $11 an hour, and you were limited on how many you could do a week, but I think I made 111. I did 11 of them, and I think I got paid $121 for that first week and a half. But I was like, it wasn't that I came out of college and thought I was above $11 an hour.
No.
It was, we were figuring it out, trying to survive it and growing our careers.
Yeah.
And it was stage 1 of Career 101, man.
Yeah. And not getting paid very much, but that's what you had to take because you had to start at the bottom.
And it's super funny, the perception of it, because back then we were like, dude,
this is money.
It was working. I look back now and I'm like, and it goes to show how you can change, your style and how you live. It doesn't always do you justice, because now you look at it and you're like, oh man, could we survive on that with kids and stuff? And so you really got to watch that. But the cool thing was we were I always put patients first. You know, a lot of what we do, and we, you know, Amy puts up with it probably more than I do because I'm very much I want to go and get a lot done.
Yeah.
And so she definitely brings.
I'm kind of I call it negative Nancy. I kind of maybe we should think about that first.
Well, it's funny because I don't view you like that at all. But like, yeah, you totally bring that balance in that, you know, that reality to what I do, and then bring that and remind of the patience and the hard work, what it takes. Yeah. And it's the truth of it. When, you know, that first year we were here and we were working, figuring it out. You know, we were 22 when we moved here, and you know, we were 22 years old and wanted to buy a house. Well, nobody's gonna give us a house, you know. And so it was one of those things that we worked a lot. You know, we both worked full-time jobs Monday through Friday, and then, you know, if I wasn't gonna do a boot camp and train some people on a Saturday morning, we would pack up the car and we would drive 3 hours west and work for my dad all weekend. And because we wanted to buy that house, you know, we wanted to buy a house. We wanted to, you know, we weren't putting patients anywhere near us.
No.
And so we would drive.
And it wasn't an easy job that we were going back for. It was very physical hours that we were draining ourselves. You know, I did some housekeeping. I did some laundry for his dad. We painted a lot. Painted rooms.
Yeah, so we'd get off work. You know, I'd get done training people. Amy would get done working. We would pull back into Murdo, South Dakota at 9 at night, and depending on the time of year, if it was a slower time of year, we would actually take apart some rooms to prep them to paint for the next day. And so we'd work till midnight, 1 o'clock, prepping a room so we could get up the next morning and not have to do it.
Yeah.
So then we'd get up early on Saturday morning, start painting, and we'd do as much as we could all day on Saturday.
Yep.
Get up on Sunday, do it on Sunday, and then pack up late Sunday afternoon.
Yep.
Get back to Sioux Falls, drive 3 hours back to Sioux Falls, all for maybe $150. You know, after you pay for gas.
Yeah. But it covered our groceries. I mean.
Yeah. You know, we were just figuring out, and I can't remember the exact amount of days, but it was over half of a year that we did that. It was 200 some days, if I remember right. It was a long time. I mean, it felt like a long time, you know, but it was just part of it, and that was where we really started figuring out the patience of things. And you know, it ended up, you know, that going to try to buy a house, and then we figured out all these different other avenues and just hurdles that we had to jump to buy that house. You know, we got you know, shut down by different lenders. We got, you know, I was a personal trainer, so they wanted, you know, I'm solely commission based. You know, they wanted 2 years of training, so trying to jump over that hoop. And somehow, after I don't know how many months it was trying to get a house, we finally got one.
Yeah, but it wasn't the first house that we wanted.
Right.
We went through a heartbreak of losing a house. Not really because of anything we did. It was just an appraising issue because of the street it was on. And it was heartbreaking, but then it led us to our first house that we enjoyed.
Right. Yeah. And so we had to have a lot of patience to get to that point. And that patience from there really correlated. We started a business that same year besides our other things. So we started Run to Gun in that year as well. And I was lucky that, you know, I had some friends that were small business owners. My dad obviously is a business, you know, so her dad operated his own business. So we had always, you know, been around it. And we had a couple friends that were like, hey, like, you know, in small business, they were sharing the percentage with us. So many businesses fail in that first year and actually shut down. And he's like, yeah, you get to year 2, look at the percentage difference of businesses that fail. It's a lot less. And that percentage just drops every year you get into it. You get to year 5, and it was like the number of businesses that succeed was like 60 or 70% higher. It was insane. And right then there, I started my business. I'm like, I'm going 5 years. It was just that decision. Like, I'm doing it. I'm going 5 years. It doesn't matter. I'm losing money, making money. I'm doing it. I'm going 5 years. Yeah, it's kind of like when you go to college. Some people go to college, because they think that now my parents want me to go, I should go. And they struggle with it. Maybe it wasn't for them. You know, some people go and they just knock it out, right? And we kind of made that decision with the business. Hey, we're going 5 years, And we actually hit 5 years, and this last year, and you have that moment of, this is a bummer. We're not quite at where we thought we would be. You're not making what you thought you'd make, and easy to open up your eyes and kind of forget. And luckily, we close our eyes again, and you're willing to kind of just eat it some more, and again remind yourself of the patience it takes to grow something that where you're actually going to positively affect, make big positive influences on a group of people, which what we're trying to do. And so many different aspects of patience that we got to talk about this weekend.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's just one of those things, an easy reminder to sit back in your own life, and whether it may be, because we all have those areas where we're discouraged, right? And we all want to grow our career path, whether it be your business path, your career path, a relationship with somebody, whatever that is. We always want to fast track everything, right? Everything needs to be quick.
Which we have had a lot of fast track moments. We have been together since 16, so like marriage was fast tracked.
Right.
Babies were kind of fast tracked once we decided that we were going to have them. There's some things that we haven't had to wait for, but definitely in our professional lives, we've had to sit back and have a lot of patience.
A lot of patience. And, there's so many times that we could have hung it up, with our business or our careers, where we could have just hung our hats, walked away, and chose something different, where we would have missed out on some really cool adventures. We would have missed out on meeting some really cool people, and we would have missed out on making some really positive impacts on people. And Amy's had that with, she runs three facilities for Good Samaritan, and has had a lot of cool impact with a lot of people in her job, and obviously her and I both with Run to Gun. And so, if we would have hung it up early, if we would have quit early because we just weren't at where we wanted to be at, we would have let that outside, what you think outside people may be thinking, it's not even there. And if it is there, who cares?
Yeah.
And so the minute you stop worrying about the outside and worry about what your track is, and stay in your lane and just try to get there, and close your eyes and just, you gotta give it more time. We have so much time, and so many of us are too afraid to step out of that box, because we feel like, hey, it's too late I gotta stick with my career. It's too late to step away from it and try something new. All I know is I'm 29, and whether you're 29, 39, 49, 59, there's still a lot of time left to be had to get out there and do things that you want to do. And so patience has just been the ultimate key for us. If we would have hung that stuff up early, we would have missed out on a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
So just trying to drive some encouraging and positive words that, hey, no matter the perception of what you might see, on anybody's social media, on our social media, on most famous person's social media, most likely, the relativeness of what they're going through probably relates so much and so closely to your own life. You have no idea that, it probably took most people that are successful a lot of patience to get to where they're at. And so don't be discouraged by where you're at. Use that as your motivation. Close your eyes, give it more time, and get to that next step, and celebrate those little steps along the way. So that is our Sunday night little podcast here with the kids in bed. Our first podcast together.
Yeah.
Amy's
wasn't
no
too bad.
longer. Yeah.
Did I talk enough for you?
I think you need to talk more. People probably want to hear you more than they want to hear me.
Well, okay, I'll get out of my box a little bit more next time.
Right?
Yeah.
I'll be patient with you. So the importance of patience, guys. Have a great evening. And if you like this podcast, share it, give us a rating, and share it with your friends. We want it to get out there. So thank you so much for listening.
Bye-bye.